What's going on, everybody? We're just gonna wait a little while people join in. Got a little music for us. Certain things gotta motivate us, you know what I mean? Certain things gotta motivate us. A little mood music while we get some people on there. Thank you to Lorna and Terry. Hey guys, God bless, God bless. Recession free, yes. A little mood music. Give us about another 30 seconds or so. Hello ladies, hello queens. Thank you for joining in. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. I mean, it's a great opportunity just to be talking right now, so I thank you. Thank you guys. Hello. Thank you for joining in. Just got off the prayer line. For those that was on the prayer line as well, thank you for joining in on that. And this is just a continuation. I would like to say when it comes to God, when it comes to God's kingdom, when it comes to everything God has for us. Recession free. That's the name of my team. Nugin Life Services is the name of my company, but recession free is a team I created because I believe in biblical principles. And one thing that God taught us, if we go back to the beginning, if we go back to the Garden of Eden, he said it was 4 rivers set up on each side of the garden to bring, to flourish the garden. That means it was nowhere that Adam and Eve could have turned where their need wasn't met. And I believe that's what recession free is truly about. No matter where you turn, your needs are met. And also our wants. I believe a lot of us want a lot of things. A lot of us deserve a lot of things. A lot of us know we can have a lot of things. And I believe this is why God has put me in this place, because it takes like-minded people to really make a movement. By the grace of God, I've been doing this for a little while now, and it has been successful. So I'm grateful for that. Most importantly, on today, we're going to be like 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. We're going to focus on 2 things. We're going to focus on how you doing, Kim? Thank you, Auntie, for joining in as well. We're just going to talk about 2 things, wealth principles and also opportunity. Wealth principles and also opportunity. One thing that I learned about the wealthy, they follow particular principles. And they're no different than you and I. A lot of these wealthy people are not even college graduates. I mean, they understand what it takes to take them to the next level. And this is what I've been taught for the past year, a little bit over a year. I've been taught by a $1 million earner. His name is Joseph Ward. He has been a true blessing in my life. And I've been rubbing elbows with other millionaires, but he's a millionaire earner. He has been teaching me wealth principles, and the knowledge has been priceless. I've been around for the past year plus. I've been around a bunch of 6-figure people. Those making not just $100,000, but $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. And I'm not saying this for bragging purposes. I'm saying this for credibility purposes. And I say this because even as I learn myself, I'm a quick learner. Even as I learn myself, I'm constantly learning, because that's what currency is. Currency, we always want to talk about money, right? But I like to label it as currency. Reason being, it's a constant flow. Money, currency is a constant flow. It's always moving. Now, the $1 million question is, how can I get a part of what's constantly moving? And then how you doing, Aisha? Thank you for joining in as well. And this is what we're gonna talk about. I just talked about my $1 million earner, one of my coaches. His name is Joseph Ward. He's from the South. He lives in Chicago now. He's from the South. And down south, they have a saying: don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I mean by that is, just because you may not hear one thing that connects to you, doesn't mean you can't utilize the other thing. So both things are really important. Both things are really solid that I'm giving you. but I come to understand that this business is not for everybody. That's something I understand. That's something I accept. But I do believe I may say something that will, like, you know what, I definitely need this for a better life for my own self. All right. Everybody excited out there? Yay! I'm excited. First time doing this, and I'm excited. I like to talk, right? I like to talk, but I'm still a shy person in a sense, by the way. For those that really know me, I'm kind of shy. You know, I have a former pastor. I'm going to say that as we continue. I'm going to say this. He told me about a couple of years ago, he said, Curtis, get uncomfortable. He said, Curtis, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I heard it. I believed it then. And oh my God, it been just that. I had to receive it. I don't know who I'm talking to, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because God is constantly elevating us, especially in this season of life. We made it to June 1st. He's elevating us, and that's why we give him praises, and that's why we honor what he blesses us with. And that's, you know, even with opportunities like this, you know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. All right, who am I? Everybody know me as Curtis Nugin. Man, I'm a man of God first and foremost, a family man. I love God, of course, but everybody know all this. Let's talk about the process that made me who I am, and why am I even doing this right now, recession free. I was a person that worked 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs for 2 full-time years. I'm gonna say it again. 2 full-time jobs. 2 full-time jobs with two full years. And it was tiresome. It was frustrating. I started work at 5 in the morning. My first job, get off at 1 o'clock. They literally go straight to my other job, get off at 8:30. I did what I had to do. But the sad part is about this story, I still did not have enough. You would think, right, working 2 full-time jobs, you will have enough, but that's not reality. Yeah, and a lot of us deal with this. A lot of us are faced with this. And then you say, for by any chance you are making money, right, with them 2 full-time jobs, you don't have any time. How are you going to do your purpose now? How are you going to do your ministry? How are you going to do the things that you like to do? How are you going to do the things that God called you to do? Because it's no time. So recession free is just that. We want to make sure that for those who want more, they get more. But most importantly, that for those that want to have extra time to live life, this is how we're going to live life. So let's start with the principles, right? And this is not a quick rich type thing. I don't believe in that. I don't do that. I can care less honestly about getting rich, but I do care a lot about getting wealth. Reason being, I care a lot about getting wealth, because that's one thing that we pass down from generation to generation. That's one thing that sustains us. If you think about money, it ranks right up there with oxygen. I said it because if you got a limited amount of money, you have a limited amount of life to be able to be lived and explored. So wealth is important, especially for those that know what suffering is. I know what suffering is. I know how I feel to say, well, baby, I can't, talking to one of my kids, I can't do this today. Oh, we got to wait till next week or whatever. I got to get a payday loan, whatever the case may be. I know how that feels. And I don't want my kids to go through that. I have grandkids now. I don't want them to go through that. So what do God want? He wants us to be set up. And it's all about wealth. Let's talk about wealth. Everybody like to throw that term out. Let's talk about, and this is wealth principles that I'm talking about right now. These are principles that the wealthy people live off. These is what people know, the wealthy knows. All right, when it comes to being wealthy, find a overwhelming need that address the largest amount of people. I'm going to say it again. Find a overwhelming need that affects the largest amount of people. That's wealth, right? Think about it. That's wealth. Let's break it down to simpler terms. Find a problem, you solve the problem, you get paid. Let's say it again. Find a problem, you solve a problem, you get paid. That is wealth. And you keep connecting people to what they need. You keep supplying them what they need. In return, you keep getting compensated. In return, communities are taken care of. And just as important, you and your household is taken care of. That is wealth principle number one. I'm going to say it again. Find an overwhelming need that affects the largest amount of people and then address that need. So this is why we're here today. Recession free is connected to the world economy to be able to address these type of needs. Nugin Life Services does a lot of different services from a lot of different things, but I don't want to not only bore you with it, but it's so much at one time. So let's stick with what's the two main things that get us the most paid and what the people have the most issues with: life insurance and investments. Them are, if you think about your family, if you think about your friends, if you think about your community, if you think about this society, we all can agree that either that we're not covered at all in life insurance, or we're dramatically undercovered in life insurance, or we have none to little amount of money saved. And not saying that all people don't save, because a lot of us do save, but a lot of people ain't saving in the right places. So this is why recession free is what it is. So let's add, even with this, either you can, with what I'm talking about when it comes to the services or the business opportunity. With the services, I can still make a person a millionaire in about 40 years. It's what it is. And I'm in the process of getting there myself. Thank you, Jesus. And I can also show you how to get wealthy in the next 3 to 5 years. And once again, I'm conscious of using that word because I know that word can scare people off. What I mean is, at the end of the day, with the purpose that God in your life, God has blessed me to have a plan to parallel with that purpose, and that we all can benefit on what's taking place in life to begin with. Let's talk about Rule of 72. Rule of 72, that's another wealth principle. And I do this, I talk like this because education is key. We got to get this in our mind, and we got to get this in our spirits, and we got to get this in our hearts so we can move on it in whatever way, shape, form, or fashion. But Rule of 72, also known as the banker rule. This is how Albert Einstein himself came up with this equation. Basically, with this equation, he's dividing 72 by the interest rates. Equal the number of years it'll take your money to double. I'm going to repeat that again. Dividing 72, the number 72, dividing that number by the interest rate on how much interest you're going to get on your dollar. And he's going to equal the number of years it takes for your money to double. Let's make this make sense. Let's think about the world economy. Let's think about the world economy. Where is you putting your money in? 9 out of 10 of us are putting our money in savings account, which is nothing wrong with it for short-term investments. But when it comes to long-term, it ain't gonna work. You can never get paid off your money. The way the system is set up, the way the system is designed, that we can't even make money off our own money. Guess what the banks do? Guess what some of these life insurance companies do, these whole life policies companies trying to take our money. You know, they're not giving us our proper interest rate. What do? We bypass the banks. Because guess what the banks do? They get our money. They give us only the most, about 3%. And once again, if you're talking about the rule of 72, if you're talking about compounding your money, you're talking about having your money work for you, having your money continue to grow, we got to take it out the banks. And we got to do what the banks do. We take it straight to the global economy. And it's something as simple as a mutual fund. I'm going to explain that mutual fund later. But let's break down real quick the rule of 72 when it comes to multiplying your money. This will help you understand this a little bit more. Say we had $10,000, right? So we all got $10,000. So now we put it in a bank to save. And what we want to do, why do we put money in the bank to begin with? Two reasons. One, so we can't touch it, that's savings, right? And two, so it can grow. So we got $10,000 we put into the bank account, right? When it comes to the rule of 72, and these are facts, these are numbers. Men's lie, women's lie, but numbers don't. Remember that, Jay-Z himself said it. Man's lie, woman lie, numbers don't. Let's go with numbers. Let's go with facts. Let's go with what's happening right now with our money and our households. We got $10,000. We put it in the bank. We don't touch it. In 24 years, our money would double. So we started off with $10,000 in 24 years. Now our money doubled to $20,000. Now guess what? In another 24 years, our money gonna double again from $20,000 to $40,000. Some people might say, well, that's cool, but a person like me, like, something ain't right with it. Now let's check out when it comes to the world economy, right? Say if we did the exact same thing, the same $10,000, instead of putting it in a bank, in our savings account, say we took it and put it in a mutual fund. Remember, right, when we had our monies in the savings, every 24 years, that's when it doubled. So year one, it was 10,000, 24 years later, 20,000. Now, if we went to a mutual fund in 6 years, that $10,000 would turn into 20. You may say, how, Curtis, how? Because you're getting a greater interest on your money. Now you're getting 12% versus 3%. Did that make sense? Now your money doubling every 6 years versus every 24 years. So now, same $10,000, right? 24 years later, it'll be $160, $160,000. Think about it. At a bank, and I'm gonna move on to the next topic. At the bank, $10,000 in 24 years, double it to 20. Same thing with $10,000 in 24 years, it's $160,000 for the simple fact it's nothing more than you put your money in the right spot. This is what recession free is about. We're teaching our people, teaching ourselves on where to put our money, and then most importantly, we're teaching families. We're teaching loved ones. We're teaching church members. All them people we love, all them people that count on us, rely on us for whatever reason, we're taking this information to them. Most importantly, we're helping them put their money in the right place. It's just that simple. But guess what? A lot of us ain't got $10,000, right? Just be throwing in mutual funds. And that's reality. A lot of us ain't got $10,000. A lot of us barely got money to survive to the next check. That's why who I'm connected with. Once again, I'm connected with the world economy by the grace of God. And we have it set up where if you put down $50 a month, you will not only start your mutual fund, but you will still get the same amount of interest. And I'm using this for an example. These are real numbers. Do your own numbers yourself. I always encourage people to do this. Say if you started a mutual fund for $50, and then every 10 years, you added an extra $10 on top of that 50. So the first year, you did $50 every month. Then the next year, you did $60 every month. The year after that, you do $7 every month, so on and so forth. Do you know by year 40, you yourself will have earned $1.4 million? And these are facts. These are numbers. These are real. These are things we can attain. These are things that's right at our hands. And we tell others. So that's that. That's the investments. It's really nothing more than that. It's a lot more that can in detail with investments. But for the meat of it, for the substance of it, it's that simple. This is why I say this is wealth principles and opportunity. What if you did that yourself, right? What if you took advantage of these wealth principles and you did it yourself? You're recession free, right? Why? Because you applied some instructions, some principles that's gonna save your life ultimately. And then what if you told somebody else that? What if you told somebody, I can save you money? I know how to save you money. You get paid. We get paid. It's recession free. And so often people think that we're salesmen. It's nothing more than us connecting people to services. It's nothing more than that. But let's get into the insurance. A lot of insurance companies, let's talk about different insurance. You have whole life and then you got term life. Whole life is that big, beautiful policy where they say, go ahead and get us, and not only we're gonna make sure that you're gonna get this policy, but you can also take loans off of it if you need it. You can use like a savings account, so to speak, and all these different things. But what they don't tell you, they give you, once again, at 3% interest, 9 out of 10 times, that low interest. They don't tell you half the times that once you borrow from that death benefit, not only are you going to get taxed on that death benefit, but you're going to get taxed on the money that you borrowed. So just imagine if you went to the ATM early that day and you would put in $100, and then later on that day you went to the same ATM to try to get your same $100, but they only give you 80 because they say the ATM gonna keep the 20. Why? Because you used us. That's what whole life is. That's why we do term life. Term life, we do it for a lot of different reasons. When it comes to term life, even once again, I'm Curtis, right? I'm just a regular Joe Blow, pretty much. But experts, we have experts called. It's 2 experts in particular, David Ramsey and Susie Orman. They are financial gurus. These 2 people themselves will let you know term life is where it's at. Reason being, you're gonna get the most on your death benefit, and you're gonna pay the less monthly premium monthly. It makes sense, right? You get the most cash value at the time of death. When you die, you get the most death benefit, but in the process of life, you did not break the bank to have to pay for it. You did not have to rob Peter to pay Paul to pay for it. You was able to affordably pay for this insurance and still get the most. The thing about whole life is they don't give you the most, and they make you pay so much money just for the minimum. And it's something that we have to get off of. So even with that, when it comes to insurances, you have, like I said, you got different things. You have banks, you have credit unions, you have cash value, so many things, aka whole life, so many things that will give you that small percentage. We want to change that. It's time to change that. We have to change this. Our kids need this. We at a place where we are at a GoFundMe generation. And it's to a point where it got to stop. We got so comfortable by not being able to afford insurance, or we're under coverage, and we're not going to the right places. Thank God for recession free. Thank God for recession free. We want to make sure that our people have a chance to live. We want to make sure, Lord forbid, if a loved one died, they're being buried properly. We want to make sure that monthly they can actually not only afford their policy, but they can have enough money to invest in a mutual fund, $50 for an example. We want to make sure that they are in need for nothing. Our kids, we want to make sure that we teach our kids these principles, so when they do get this check, now they know how to work it as well. They know how to work the money. So when it comes to the insurance person portion, we just always teach, because the need is there. And my goal is to make sure that we take care of that need. So when it comes to recession free, at the end of the day, we are nothing more than connecting people to services. I'm looking for some serious people. I'm looking for some people that want to make a change in their lives. It's much more information than this to give, of course, but I don't want to give you too much at one time because it can be mind-blowing. Hopefully you guys got a pen and paper, and those that on the line already should have my number. If you don't, 773-963-4770. I'm gonna say it again, 773-963-4770. Take my number so we can talk. Take my number so we can really get an understanding of what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, I'm sure there's questions out there. I'm gonna say this, before I get ready to close. If you look at, and I want you to Google this, financial services produce the most six figures people. Reason being, it gives you the freedom to create. Why? Because it's an overwhelming need 9 out of 10 times when you're dealing with any financial services. We're no different. The time is now. I'm going to give this example, then I'm going to leave. I want you to think about 3 different companies, right? And maybe this will make sense when it comes to recession free. Think about Uber. Uber, what do Uber do? Uber do nothing more than connect people who got cars with people that need rides. That's Uber. When it comes to Airbnb, what do Airbnb do? Airbnb connect people who got places, got a home, got a bed, got a pillow, got a couch, got a TV, and they connected with people that want that crib with that house, with that bedroom, with that TV, with that couch. That's what they do. Let's talk about Match.com. A lot of y'all probably don't know about Match.com. But what do Match.com do? They connect people who want to have a date, and for those that can get them a date, they connect people together. And what do Nugin Life Services do? What do Recession Free do? What am I asking you to do with me? I'm asking you to connect people that you know with services that they need. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And my job is to be there 100%, to work for yourself and not by yourself. I know I said a lot. I thank you guys for listening. If I gave you more information, we'd probably be on the line for the next 30 minutes. So my goal was to condense it as much as I can, but to give you the most important thing, which was principle. Because once again, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You may need a policy. You may not have, you may not be protected. Let us protect you. You may need to put your money somewhere. You may need to know, where can I put my money, because I don't got a lot of 24 periods in me for my money to double every 24 years. This is why we're here. So if you don't want to be a part of the team, I understand it's not for everybody, but you may need the service. So, hey, I thank you guys. Hey, this is the first of many. I love you guys. Recession free. Contact us today. Bye.